It was described at the time as one of the most damaging extratropical cyclones to rake the East Coast. The Ash Wednesday storm of 1962 killed 40 people over several days from New England through the mid-Atlantic. It destroyed or damaged more than 16,000 homes. Now, recently discovered footage of the aftermath from Virginia Beach shows another angle of history through the lens. Welcome. This is History Through the Lens. We make history every day. I'm Tom Schaad. March 1962. John F. Kennedy was president. The Beatles were still 2 years away from conquering America, and we had one of the worst storms ever to hit the East Coast at that time. It was called the Ash Wednesday storm. It wasn't even a hurricane. It was an extratropical cyclone, as you heard, a nor'easter, as they say in New England, stretching from New England to Virginia Beach and the Outer Banks. With me to talk about it today, Alice Drake. She was in the 4th grade when this happened, but her father owned the Princess Anne Hotel on 25th Street in Virginia Beach, and that is no longer there.
No longer there.
Long gone.
Yep.
But he took some incredible footage we're about to look at today. We'll be looking at it throughout our program here on History Through the Lens and just giving us an extra glimpse into what happened that day. And Alice, just to tell our viewers how we got together on this, you approached me at church and said, I've got some Super 8 film of the Ash Wednesday storm in 1962. And I said, that's it. We're going to talk about it. And hence, we're getting together today, and you were able to put together that film, and you have some other pictures to show us. Looking forward to just asking about what you were doing in 1962. You were in the 4th grade, as you said. Yeah. What do you remember about that day, March 7th, 1962?
Yeah, that was, we did go to school because I did not actually live on the ocean front for the family home. Mm-hmm. So we did go to school, and while we were at school, it was me and my brother and sister at the time. I was the oldest. And news sort of started drifting through the classroom, and teachers were talking about it, and kids were talking about the flooding on Atlantic Avenue and what was going on. And I decided I wanted to go home right then. And I went to the principal's office, and I said, I'm collecting my little brother and my little sister, and we're leaving. So I called.
Headstrong, weren't you?
Yeah, I was determined. So I called an employee of the hotel at the time, and I said, you have got to get us right now. And they came down and picked us up and took us home.
What time was this during the day? Do you remember?
It was right after school started.
Oh,
it
morning.
Was,
okay.
Maybe we hadn't even been there an hour, and word was beginning to spread that there was some big trouble down in Virginia Beach. And that was, how it got spread. So I just collected my siblings and said, we're going home now.
The storm produced 20 to 30-foot waves that relentlessly pounded the Virginia Beach oceanfront for 3 days. That's from the Historical Marker Database of Virginia, collection of historical markers. So you probably see that on the oceanfront, as a matter of fact. So let's talk more about that. What else do you remember after that?
I remember, later on, a friend of mine, Chris Bonney, he runs a research and survey company, and his mother worked for the Edgar Cayce ARE and the Association for Research and Enlightenment.
Okay.
And they lived up on there's a big, big hill on 57th, 58th Street, which
North
is
End.
very high. And Chris was sent down to go to school, and he looked out and saw the water coming over the dunes.
Oh, my.
And this was one of the first waves that came in. So he trotted home and said, Mom, I think you better come and get the car. And, of course, her first reaction is, what are you doing here? I was only
Why aren't you in school?
Yeah. And he said, the ocean is coming. And she said, oh, God, now I have to take you to school. And then she realized that he was right. It was going to get serious any minute now. So she moved her car from a parking lot close to Atlantic Avenue up the hill. And bless Chris's heart, he did save her the expense of having to get a new car because there was no way to fix them. Those cars that were, salt water. No.
Do you remember the mood of people you were around, the adults? Did you sense a sense of panic or a sense of urgency, or we have to move, or a quiet authority?
It was the quiet authority that I don't know if it was because there were a lot of children around but they were just quiet. It was the quiet authority. They got together. People started helping out one another, calling other people to come in. The commanding officer of Fort Story was General Booth. And he was the one who said, okay, well, we got to help these people. And he used the amphibious vehicles to run people up and down Atlantic Avenue, get them out of the water, get them out of their homes, and get them to a safe, dry place. Because it was, people were walking around in water in their living room.
I think this is a good time to start bringing some of our film that your father shot. Now, tell me about, and this is, of course, your personal collection. We've been cleared to show this. We appreciate the permission that you gave us. And tell me about some of the shots. And first of all, how your dad had the presence of mind to record this film and why he did it.
Quite frankly, I think my father was a frustrated photographer. He wanted to be one, and he loved movies anyway, but he had that camera, and he moved fast. He went in to get what he could, and he went down to check the old hotel, which was the front. That's the side of it right there.
Okay. It's 25th Street.
Yeah, 25th Street, and it was, as you can see, everything had washed out. And once he made sure everything was secure there, he did request that General Booth let him get on the amphibious vehicles. And General Booth said, yes, sure. You go
That was
ahead.
interesting. He was a civilian, but also had a great pull in the community.
Yeah, great pull with that. And later on, we have General Booth Boulevard down there. Later on, General Booth was able to help guide the leaders in Virginia Beach through the process of getting actual help from the federal government, getting the money to rebuild the roads.
And we had no FEMA back then.
None.
So 1962, this is before the Cuban Missile Crisis. We were in the middle of the Cold War. And I think we were getting this sense of, I wouldn't say doom, but we have to be on the alert. We have to be prepared. We have to help each other. Am I right when I say that?
Yeah, well, there were the run, duck, and cover drills that we were going through at that time as, children. And that leaves, I remember it to this day. That leaves an impression on you.
Do you think that contributed to your sense of, I'm taking my brothers and sisters and we're going to go home?
Yes, it may have. It may well
Something
have.
bad is happening and we're going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And never panic.
No, try not to, at least.
Right. Well, these are some pretty incredible images. Can you just now where is this?
This is the residential end. That would be on the ocean front. In all likelihood, people were getting washed out and digging out. The water has receded at this point. It was probably still stuck on Atlantic Avenue because Atlantic Avenue dipped down. And the drainage would have taken a lot longer.
Probably March 30th. We've been talking, and wow, we we have to take a break already because the conversation is going so well. I'm here with Alice Drake from Virginia Beach, recalling the 1962 Ash Wednesday storm. Much more of this incredible footage from her personal collection after this. Welcome back to this edition of History Through the Lens. Kind of a special one for me because I'm talking to Alice Drake, who was a longtime resident of Virginia Beach and whose father shot some incredible footage of the Ash Wednesday storm in 1962. And we've seen lots of images from that time. We have some here in our Wavy archives as well, but it's always interesting to uncover new angles and new images from people from their own personal collection because it may always add a little bit more flavor to what happened, especially at that time. And in a time where we didn't have a lot of technology, we had television, we had radio and film. And when people had home movie cameras, that was a pretty cool thing. And your father really wanted to use this to record what was going on. I was going to go into the generation that we're referring to at that time. We're going back to parents who were, young people during World War II.
Yeah.
And they lived through the Great Depression.
Yeah.
So they had much more of a, what else can happen type of attitude. It's like, this is nothing. We're going to get through this.
Yeah.
Did you see that as well? Because I'm speaking for my mother. My mother was that way.
Yeah.
And what was your impression of that?
Yeah, I did. I did see that because there really wasn't that much help available to us, except your neighbor and the people who are around you, and maybe you could get family to come in and help. And there was one hotel I recall that had its whole front had washed away, but when you looked, and I don't know if it's in this piece or not, but when you looked down, you saw that the foundation was actually a whole bunch of old cars.
The foundation?
Yes.
Wow.
And now, in this point in time, I said to myself, I wonder what the city inspector thought of that when he found out about it.
When you say old cars, you mean like the thing was built on a bed of old cars?
Yeah, the entire front of the hotel.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, I know.
And I wonder what kind of cars were they? Like, were they?
They looked like 40s and 50s.
Wow.
And so I guess maybe somebody added on and decided they were gonna, instead of using pilings, they would.
I would love to see if you had any remnants of those old vehicles there. You know, if you find a tire, or a hubcap or a seat or something.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff, though. What people did then as far as improvising. Yeah. Let's take a look at some more video now, or I'm sorry, film, but it's on our video. Is it queued up? Okay, because this is not the beginning though, right? No. Okay, great. Yeah, this does look different. Yeah. So what are we looking at now? All of it's fascinating.
That appeared to be that first with the colonnade appeared to be. Oh, this is some of the recovery here.
Okay.
Also, they did bring in bulldozers, and they did try to spread sand so that there was more of a wall against any recurring. You can see all the homes there. The ocean went into that house, didn't it?
Yeah.
And that was all up and down Atlantic Avenue if you were on that ocean front. If you were on the back side of it, it was much deeper water that didn't recede quite as quickly because Atlantic Avenue was lower than these other slightly built-up areas.
So this storm affected New England, parts of the Mid-Atlantic, and of course the Outer Banks really got hit very hard.
Yeah.
As did Virginia Beach. And can you describe Virginia Beach at the time in 1962, what it was like?
It was mainly the older hotels. It was trying to move up as a resort, but most of the old hotels, there was no central heating. It was more like a European type thing where one bathroom was for two rooms, two separate suites. So you didn't exactly know your neighbor. But as it became obvious, at least my father, he was a young man at that point, he decided he was going to build another hotel, more modern, separate rooms. And so he picked up that banner at that point. And by the next year, 63, he started building another more modern hotel. So people were thinking that they needed to change something. And I think some of them probably just felt, well, this is just a good excuse to go to the bank and get the money and get this thing done. And fortunately, some of the older bankers there said, that's a good idea. And they did start financing these smaller hotels. They weren't franchised. They were just owners.
Interesting you say that about the community bankers. I mean, and that's something else that we've seen change over the decades. The much bigger banks, fewer community banks, they had decisions to make. They could say, we are going to rebuild here. We're going to help this guy rebuild, what's your collateral, whatnot. No checks coming from FEMA, no federal government assistance then. So you depended heavily on your community. So the banker had to believe in what Virginia Beach could become. There was more of an interest, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. And it
A
was
community interest.
there was community interest and in the livelihood and taking a step up to another level that would modernize the community. And a lot of infrastructure had to be improved too.
Sure.
So it wasn't the city needed to step up, and they did too. So everybody stepped up.
Fascinating. Now, this is some film here that I know we haven't seen some of this. We've seen more people walking
There's
around
one of
here.
them.
Oh, there's one of the cars
Yeah.
that you referred to. That was actually a foundation.
Yes. Yeah.
That is fascinating.
And you see,
There they are.
Oh, look at them.
Can you imagine doing that today?
Oh,
Getting a bunch of old cars to put as fill near the ocean
yeah.
would not happen.
No, it would not.
Would not happen, nor should it. Okay, we saw this in our open.
Yeah.
All those beautiful old cars with the fins
Yeah.
being washed down. So now we're getting
It's
some.
Atlantic Avenue again.
Atlantic
This
Avenue.
is at the north end.
Okay,
And
wow. And now we're running out of time in our second segment.
yeah.
We're going to come back and we're going to look at much more of this footage. We're going to stop it right there because we have so much more to see. I'm here with Alice Drake from Virginia Beach, and we're recalling the 1962 Ash Wednesday storm. This is History Through the Lens. Welcome back to this edition of History Through the Lens. Tom Schaad here with Alice Drake, who is a longtime Virginia Beach resident, sharing some personal recollections and personal film from her vault, if you will, of the 1962 Ash Wednesday storm. And as we look through this wonderful old Super 8 footage, we continue to see very interesting images of something that happened over 3 days up and down the East Coast, and a very damaging storm. Matter of fact, it was considered the most damaging extratropical cyclone of its day up to that point in 1962, doing, I think, some $200 million damage. If you look at it in money from those days, that was a very powerful storm, especially in Virginia Beach. Let's continue to roll this footage. I know you said you have more, too, where it came from, apparently.
Yeah.
And you're still trying to find all of it.
Yeah.
So your dad owned the Virginia Beach or the Princess Anne Hotel
Yeah.
on 25th Street.
Yeah.
And he was taking a lot of this footage from an amphibious vehicle.
Yeah. Anything on the front like that, he would jump off and jump right back on. They got used to him after a while.
General Booth thought it was cool.
Yeah, I guess he did. He must have. And this is some of the damage from way later, but it was an unmitigated mess. I mean, there was concrete and wood and all kinds of building materials all over the place.
It'd be interesting to see what we've learned from this storm as far as mitigation, as far as flood mitigation and building codes and whatnot, because it looks like it was really no match. I'm trying to look through my notes here and see what kind of winds we had here through there, but I think it was just the tides.
It was just the tides.
It was the water they were talking about.
The water. There. I don't think there was much that was wind driven.
20-foot to 30-foot waves.
It was frightening for the people who encountered it up front, right at the moment when that thing struck.
A nor'easter, so it's pushing.
Slammed.
It's pushing that water.
Yeah.
That water has nowhere to go, as you can see. So what are we looking at here?
That's private home, another private home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's the sand, which there should be streets in between there. They're not because they're covered in sand. The waves came through. Apparently, the dunes, as you can see looking at it, were able to protect some of the houses from being cracked in half or taken out to sea. But as you can see, there's more digging going on. They wanted to dig a trench so that they could get the water out of Atlantic Avenue.
Yeah.
That's what that was about. And here's a more normal foundation there with
No cars there.
no cars in that one. Yeah. And there's the bulldozers pushing water and sand and trying to get a way for it to drain because it was, like I said, Atlantic Avenue moved down a little bit. And I don't know if General Booth helped with the engineering on lifting Atlantic Avenue to the point.
Interesting.
It was better.
So you're a fourth grader.
Yeah.
And What about this through your eyes? You're looking at this film now. Does this look familiar to you as a little girl in Virginia Beach? And what were you thinking when you saw this happening?
Yeah, that was one of those, well, what are we going to do now, Daddy? Type of things. And
Right.
he was probably wondering the same thing.
What did he tell you?
He said, well, it was a big storm, sweetheart. It was a really big storm, and now we're going to have to fix a lot of things. And apparently he already had something going in his head, because he did move forward into a new building after this by 63. And quite a few other hotels followed and started doing that kind of thing. And this, I guess, a blessing in disguise, because that's what was the kickoff on Virginia Beach, becoming a more modern place to visit.
It'd be hard to argue that,
Yeah.
because as you get a look at this, of course, the Cavalier Hotel, built in 1927,
Yeah.
Was an amazing
Yeah.
place. Like, it was kind of the, how should they say, the crown jewel in the middle of all this. But, they thought that maybe this could be more of Virginia Beach should be like the Cavalier Hotel, or
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But they wanted, the culture was changing to the grand hotel, old hotels, which used to have a lot of class and style, were just too expensive for people. So the vacations were were not going on for a whole month or a whole summer any longer. Is that you had to take your week or your weekend
Right.
and party hardy. So that
and
was
drive there.
and drive there. Yeah. Yeah.
So more motels, more catering to the motoring population. We were on the road.
Yep.
The
we were.
interstate highway system was built in the 1950s.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there you have it.
Yep.
But then this comes along and you're thinking, okay, now's our chance to rebuild better.
Yeah, and I think that was on his mind, and a lot of other young men, young entrepreneurs who were at the beach at the time, and I think they jumped on that wagon train, because things did rapidly change after that.
Was it part of the times too in the 1960s, the early 60s, more like looking forward, progress, the future, we can do this,
Yeah.
more of that attitude versus, where I think, and maybe I'm interjecting my beliefs in here a bit, but it seems like today's culture has a much different view. Like we've already seen our greatness,
Yeah.
and we are moving towards a much more smaller, more we have to be more stewards of the world, where
Yeah.
this is more we can conquer the world.
Yeah.
Do you see that difference
Yeah,
there?
there is a difference there, and you can see it and feel it.
I'm not making
and-
a value judgment, but just
No.
just
Yeah, there's no value judgment to it. Kids these days, when you think of what it costs to build a home
Yeah.
or what it costs to start a business up, it's crushing.
Mhm.
And so maybe they don't see the way through, see the way to it quite yet. And I think that's up to you and me and a lot of other people, older people, to say, yeah, you can, and here's how you do it. So it's the world is different. It's a little bit more insular.
Mhm.
People are a little bit more protective,
Yeah.
and I can't say as I blame them.
We have so much of our worlds in our homes now,
Yeah.
where we can reach out and touch anywhere we want with one of these,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And in those days, there was much more of a communal experience
Mhm.
when it came to media, for example. And when you saw this, I mean, everybody, I'm sure, came out to look at this and say, okay, now, okay, so what do I do now?
Yeah.
How do I help? Is that how people kind of got their
Yeah.
energy out, is helping other people?
Yeah, they did. They got, and they helped one another as much as they possibly could. As much as they could. I mean, nobody was going to be moving those old cars.
For all we know, they're still there. Right? No, I doubt that very much. But
Yep.
this has been such a pleasure. And
well,
can you
thank you.
believe we're actually we're only a few seconds left?
Well, we got 5 or 6 hours to go yet.
I could talk to you for a
Yeah.
long time. I would love to have you back sometime, or we can also, I think there are some stories for Wavy with
Yeah.
this too.
Yeah.
Alice Drake, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Tom, for
and-
having me.
and speaking to us with this wonderful footage you shared with the rest of Hampton Roads. Your father's camera really was enlightening on that Ash Wednesday storm in 1962. This has been History Through the Lens. And remember, we make history every day.